everyone, good morning. Sorry about the noise. So many gardeners here working, and I wanted to tell you today, I just had a discussion on Messenger with an investor that he was very frustrated because basically he told me that for the last 5 years all of the investments that he did basically got him to square one. First of all, he got into an investment for building a building in Brooklyn. He invested $50,000, and the investor did so many mistakes in that investment. For example, the budget for building it up went up 5 times. They didn't open the right company. They did a C Corp, and then they had to pay way too much taxes. So many issues. And then he got into another investment with a well-known investor, and all of the numbers on the spreadsheet eventually didn't turn out as it should, right? So basically he wanted me to add a lecture in Nadlan Expo 2023 about the potential risks and also how to choose the right operator to follow and to do your investments. And I can tell you that God bless all of the investments that we did, even the multifamily and stuff that we did in Texas and Washington DC. We don't have any horror stories. I prefer to do way less investments and to do only things that I invest myself and that I believe in. But today, with the high interest rates, our investment company, Nadlan Invest, basically we narrowed all of our options. We usually don't have more than options that you can have on one hand. It's going to be usually 2, 3, 4 options. That's it. We don't spread our options too wide because we want to make sure that that every investment is vetted and verified, and our team is looking deeply into each one of these investments. But especially today, with the high interest rates, we narrowed all of our investment types into one single investment that we believe is the most solid. I'm a very solid investor. I don't like to take risks with my money, with my investors' money. And basically that guy that we spoke on Messenger, he asked me like why many investors are taking so lightly the investor money, and they promised a lot of stuff. For example, sending the quarterly summaries for the investors, and suddenly they stop doing that. And basically you need to know that your money, when let's say an investor buying a building, your deposit money is the riskiest money out there, because that's basically the deposit that is being paid for the bank to take the loan. I know that some investors are even, let's say they say, oh, I put 5% down, but then they take 5% up front. So basically they put zero money into the deal. He told me that in that investment that they joined, the investor took $50,000 up front. So the investor made his money on day one. So they don't care. They might do, they might buy some building, and then basically the riskiest asset there is the investor's money that is being used into a non-recourse loan. That basically a non-recourse loan have zero risk for the operator, because a non-recourse loan doesn't put his own assets on the line. And if that investor is, let's say, saying that he put some money down, but he also charge marketing fees and all of this stuff, So basically the operator puts zero money down, and it's very hard also to follow when these kind of assets are being managed. It's very hard to follow and see if all kind of costs are not being inflated. For example, fixing a toilet that might cost $50, the bottom line, the operator can write $500 and pocket the rest into his pocket. So this is basically the reason why we switched our investment company into basically doing just the simplest investments out there, which are single family houses in the number one state in America. Number one state, there was just an article yesterday that the value of property in Florida exceeded New York for the first time. It's kind of amazing that, you know, the overall value of property is currently in Florida because it's inflated so much because of the high demand. You have like 3,000 people moving to Florida every single day, and all of these people need housing. And you have some areas of Florida that are so expensive, so people migrate to other areas, and this is exactly what we do. And you can see on the 27 highway from Miami to Lake Placid, you know, one of our builders is living in Miami, and he is doing this ride almost every day. So it used to take him an hour 45 minutes to do it. Of course, he's doing it with his Porsche, don't worry about it, he's enjoying the ride. But now it takes about 2.5 hours to do the exactly same ride. And why is that? Because all of the road have construction on it for widening the road. It reminds me, for example, I just came back from Israel, and it used to be when I worked in IT, in high-tech in Herzliya, when I wanted to go to Ra'anana or Kfar Saba, or from where I lived in Ramat Aviv, in Tel Aviv, it used to take me 45 minutes to do that ride, because a lot of traffic and going through the neighborhood and stuff. And today you have highways, the 531 new highway, it's basically 15 minutes to go from Kfar Saba, one side of Israel, to the center. It's really amazing. So we are seeing the same things happening with Lake Placid. A lot of construction on the road. We also, as investors, that we have many of our assets invested in this area. We own many properties over there. So we are all the time looking for strengths in our decision, and seeing that, you know, besides, you know, I'm an analytical guy, IT background, 3 degrees in computers, 2 startups that I sold. So basically my background is technology. So I look at numbers all the time, and when I see all of the numbers adds up on a specific area, this is where I put my money in. And basically with our investments over there, you know, building up, first of all, we lowered the costs, so anyone that comes with cash can get a much better price, because we, instead of bringing 1 truck of bricks, we are bringing 10. Instead of ordering 1 roof, we're ordering 10, so we can lower the cost. And we also lowered a lot of our profit alongside all of our suppliers. So but we also have other routes of investment. For example, with financing, we finance the deal, we take the mortgage, we take the hassle of approving a new construction mortgage, which is a lot of hassle, and you also need to show that you have experience, at least 5 houses that you build. We build dozens, so a regular guy, girl cannot take a new construction loan. So we are doing that for you, we are paying all of the interest, and basically then the price, instead of being $225, it's $245. You pay 50% up front, we pay the rest we take the loan, we pay the rest, and then you refinance, you finance it when the house is ready with a regular mortgage, the additional 50%. We also have some houses that we keep on building. If there is a house that is already almost ready, you can basically have only 35% of this 245,000, and in 2-3 months the house is ready. We add up, we do the mortgage. Because it's almost ready, we can work with less money down. And the last option, which is a partnership. I am, as a US citizen with high credit score and experience in building, some investors prefer to join me basically and buy one of these houses, and then you do get the wholesale price of the 225 for the gold model, 255 for the premium model. That, by the way, the market value, you can look at Zillow, we can give you addresses. Let's say the premium model, Zillow, a few of them said 307, 306. So these are kind of like the market value from Zillow. We know that Zillow is not accurate, but it's a good barometer to basically know the value. So yeah, so basically I'm getting as a partner, which means you invest the 35% and you're getting 50% of the deal. I'm bringing 65% of the financing. I'm bringing my own credit on the line, my own experience, and that means that my own house, personal house where my family lives, and my own properties and my car and everything is on the line. Because basically if the house is not being completed, and we build them very fast, we build entire neighborhoods, so building these houses is very easy. We can show you project that we did. We build them like cupcakes, you know, like we build them very fast and very high level. We actually lowered the price from 260 to 225 for the cash deal, and we increased, we changed some of the materials to even better materials. For example, the interior buffs, everything is now chrome handles and things like that. So basically we could have even better materials, the isolation and things like that, because we're buying them in bulk. We're getting very good prices, and we are passing all of this profit to you guys. So basically, when I'm getting into such a partnership, I'm having my own life, my own credit on the line. I have a lot to lose as compared to many investors that take non-recourse or have no risk at all. And eventually you invest less and you get higher percentage. We become partners. We manage the property together as partners. And on the operating agreement, we open an LLC. On the operating agreement, we can decide between us what kind of partnership we want. For example, holding the property. We have one investor that he said, when the property gonna value, let's say the gold model, but currently it's like market value 279, 289, something like that. It changes every day. So let's say until it reaches $300,000, we keep on renting it. We check every year. When it reaches this amount, we sell. Some other person says, all right, we're gonna keep it until a certain value. We're gonna refinance. The investor gonna get back his investment money, and we keep the property for long term. That's another option. So, you know, so there's no risk for the investor. Basically, on the refinance, they're getting their money back, and we keep holding the property for longer. We manage it together. There's also an option if the investor wants to be 100% in off, that I'm gonna manage the property later on for them in front of the management company. That's another option. It's not something that I'm crazy to do. It takes a lot of time, but I know that some investors, we have an investor from Singapore. He's a cyber guy. He's buying now 3 properties on a partnership. He chose the partnership um, um, option, and he wants to be hands off entirely, and he wants my life to be on the line. He could have purchased it in another option to be 100% on the property. He wants me to be a partner because he wants me to be on the line and be part of the risk taking, basically with my credit on the line, and he knows that I will do everything I can for that to succeed. And the chances for something like that to go wrong are very little, because you are building the most lucrative product in the US, a single family house. Everyone needs a place to live, and a single family house is the American dream. And basically what we see now, that the higher the more expensive houses, this one that currently it's like 700,000, 800,000, a million, these houses in some areas of the US are going down in value, but the houses that are cheaper, 400, 300, 200, if something like that exists at all. I don't think anyone built that cheap like we do, especially in Florida. But these houses are going up in price. And why? When the interest rate was 4% or 3%, people were approved, they're making 100,000 a year. They've been approved for 700,000, 800,000, $1 million houses. And Americans, I'm Israeli living in America. For me, it was crazy to hear that people here are holding properties just for a vacation house. And actually a lot of our properties in Florida, we are renting to snowbirds that basically they want to have a property that's sitting vacant all year for 4 or 5 months. They're coming, they're using it, and they like to own vacation rentals, vacation properties. For me, when I just came to the US, I remember there was a secretary, I did some IT project in New Jersey, and there was a secretary, but she told me that they own a property that sits vacant all year for like a few weeks that they're using it. For me, as an Israeli, it was insane. Like, we would never buy a property for it to sit vacant. Every property that we buy is for it to create passive income for us, so we can be eventually financially free and enjoy life and travel the world. This is our goal. Everything we do, it's regardless if it's real estate or stocks or Amazon or whatever. Eventually, all of the forums like the one that we have, the goal is to be financially free. Real estate is the most stable asset because it's real. So, by the end of the day, with stocks, you can only make a profit when the stock went up and you sell. With real estate, you have so many ways to make a profit. For example, you have a tenant that actually pays for your mortgage and expenses. You have tax benefits that just in the US, you don't even realize that. In Israel, you cannot write off all of your expenses. If you drive from Tel Aviv to Be'er Sheva, you cannot write it off. You cannot write off the mortgage interest. In the US, you can write off anything, everything. I can tell you that for 14 years that I'm here, I never paid taxes. I'm doing the taxes every year, but every time I'm getting a check of like $10,000, $20,000. And why? It's not because that I'm a bad person. I simply know the game of investing. Every time that you going to invest more than you make a profit. So every time I make a profit, I keep on investing. I put it into another investment. So my expense is going to be more than my income from the rental properties. And basically, that's, by the end of the day, showing on the taxes that I have a deficit in expenses. Like if I need to go to see the properties, if there is any fixes or things like that, I'm putting it as expense, of course. And also, like in new construction, you have so many benefits that, part of the expenses that you have is the maintenance. With new construction, you have zero maintenance. You have a warranty from the builder. The insurance in our area is only $40 per month. It's amazing for Florida. $490 a year. The taxes are very low because it's an up and coming area. For people that come from Israel, just think about Ra'anana, Kfar Saba, 15 years ago, that everything was like vineyards or orange trees or things like that. So this is how it is now, and we do have some crisis. The crisis is that now it's hard for us to find new land. We just almost finishing 4 houses. 3 of them already investors bought. We have 1 available house that is almost ready, and we just bought 2 lots. But the problem is it's hard for us to find new lots in the price that we want, because the area went up in price 25% in the last year, and we as crazy investors, we actually went wholesale and we dropped the price from 260 to 225 when the entire area went up in price, because we went to do everything in wholesale and buy everything in bulk. So this video, I wanted to talk with you about risk taking. Basically, we are doing currently, that's the only investment that we do in Nadlan Invest. We're looking for solid deals. You buy below market value. You have all of the numbers in place, everything in place. You can watch our presentation. You can see 114 slides about every question that you think, and a lot of things that you didn't think about the area. The education, the amenities, the migration, the materials, everything that you couldn't even imagine. And if you still have any questions, you can contact me, and hope to see you in Nadlan Expo 2023, the largest investment, the largest conference for real estate in Israel. It's gonna be a carnival for real estate, 4 days, more than 60 lectures, 38 speakers and growing. So go to nadlanexpo.com for the conference and nadlaninvest.com for the new construction. Thank you guys, see you soon.